Hello everyone, Miss Grinsell again. Welcome to day 4. We're up to the 4th day of our writing. I loved seeing all of your stories come in today. I really was proud of the way that people took it on and they wrote about a mistake and they had a sizzling start and lots of similes and exciting endings. So this is going to be a great next step as we move from, I'll just remind you again what we've done. We've done the planning, we've done the writing. Today's editing day. So I'm going to take you through step by step how to edit your work. And you will submit a photo to your teacher on Seesaw of your edited work so they can give you a little bit of feedback, ready for publishing day tomorrow. Now here's our learning intention for step 3, editing. We are learning to edit our own writing using the cup strategy. Now you might be thinking, I've never heard of that before. I'm going to teach it to you today. Now notice here, edit our own writing. So we'll be doing that ourselves. We won't need mum or dad. This video will take you through step by step what to do. It will ask you to pause and do step 1 and then press play again. By the time you finish the video, you would have finished your editing. So here's how you'll know at the end of our writing lesson today if you have been successful. So it says, I can check my writing has capital letters in the right spot or spots. That's our first one here. I can read my writing to someone to make sure it makes sense. I can check it has proper punctuation. I can check the spelling of the words I included. And I can add interesting adjectives and similes to make my writing exciting. So we'll come back to this at the end of the lesson today, but if you've managed to follow this video, that means you would have done all of these things and you would have had a very successful editing lesson. Okay, let's get started. Cups! Here is a bunch of cups, lots of cups everywhere. Cups stands for capitals, understanding, punctuation, and spelling. So after each letter, I will ask you to pause the video to do that step and then press play again so you can come to the next letter. So today we'll be checking for capitals, check for that it makes sense, that's understanding, check for punctuation, and check for spelling. All right, capitals, capital letters, that is our first place to start today. Now for this to work, you need to have this video playing on your device, probably some headphones on so that you're not getting distracted by the noise around you. And you need to have your story that's in your at-home learning book on the table just next to you. And you need a colored pencil. I would suggest a red or a green or a blue, something that can really be seen, purple maybe, so that the teacher can see where you have edited your work. So step 1, for capitals, listen to the instructions. You are going to check your work for capitals in the right spots. So you will have your pencil and you'll be going through, and anywhere that has a capital that is missing, you will include that capital by going over the top. So you'll be checking, first of all, the pronoun I. That's when we're saying something like, I went here, or I said this. It always needs to be a capital when it's in that context. So if you have an I by itself like that, you need to come through with another color and go over the top. So we see that you are making it a capital letter. Nice easy one, the beginning of a sentence. For example, today is sunny has a capital at the beginning. You need to go through and check the beginning of every sentence. That doesn't mean just quickly rush through and, oh, yep, got all my capitals. That means going through every sentence and checking that it starts. Because this very special job of being an editor takes time and patience to do it properly. If you have any months of the year in your writing, they always have a capital. They're a proper noun, they're a name, the name of a month, and they always have a capital, and it's the same with days of the week. So if you've said that your character went somewhere on Saturday, and you've written it like this, you would need to come in with your colored pencil over the top and change it to a capital letter. And that's how your teacher will know that you've done the editing, when they see that color over the top. The names of people or the names of things More, not just any things like brands like Coca-Cola, or the names of people always have a capital, and the names of places. So if you've mentioned a place, the name of the place needs a capital letter. So your step one now is to pause this video, pick up your colored pencil, go through and check for the pronoun I, that's I on its own, capitals at the beginning of the sentence, and the names of things like months of the year, days of the week, people, and places. Unpause this video once you've done that first step. You should only be watching this part because you've just finished editing for capital letters. Step number 2 is to check for understanding. Now the best way to do this is to read it out loud to someone else, because it's often when we're reading it to someone and reading it out loud that we go, oh, that actually doesn't make sense what I've written, and you add in any words that you've missed or things that you've left out. So to check that it makes sense and to check that it sounds right, you need to read this aloud to somebody else with your colored pencil in your hand. So as you're reading it and you realize that you've left something out, you can include it and then keep going. Pause this video and read your work aloud to somebody else. Okay, we are at the P of punctuation, and you should only be here if you've done your capitals and you've read this aloud to somebody else. You're now going to go through your work and check that you have full stops at the end of your sentences. If there is a question being asked, that you have a question mark there. If it's something really exciting or you want the character to really be saying it loudly, you need an exclamation mark. If the character is speaking, you need these quotation marks or speech marks around just what they're saying. Not the whole sentence, but just the part that they would be saying out loud. So with your colored pencil, I want you to check every sentence. Does it have a full stop? Is it a question? Does it need a question mark? Does it need an exclamation mark? Check for punctuation. Your teacher doesn't want to get a photo of your work with no full stops anywhere and think, oh no, they haven't edited this at all. So go now, pause this video and check for punctuation. Okay, and we are at the S of cups. You've only gotten this far if you've done the other 3 steps already. This is the S for spelling. You're going to check your work to fix up any spelling. Now the way that you're going to do that today is with your colored pencil. You're going to go through, and just like this one here has a circle around the word, you're going to circle anything that you think doesn't look quite right. Then in a dictionary, probably using something like dictionary.com, you can type the word in and it will give you the proper spelling and you can fix it up. So for S in cups, you're going to go through, circle anything that doesn't quite look right, go to dictionary.com, type it in, and it will give you the proper spelling. Pause this video and do that step. And the final extra bit of this, if you would like to make your work extra exciting or extra colorful with the words that you use, you're going to check your work for adjectives, and you're going to see if you can include any more similes in there to make it really descriptive. Now we know that an adjective describes nouns. So in your work you might have said words like sunshine or diamond, owl, lollipop, slide, bee, or rose. They're all the nouns. You can see on this poster the adjective goes before the noun. So instead of just saying bee, you could say the buzzing bee. You can see how it makes it just that little bit more exciting and descriptive. Instead of just saying the diamond, you could say the sparkling diamond. So as an extra step, go through and see if you can add a couple of extra adjectives before some nouns in your story. And your teacher would be very impressed if they saw with your colored pencil that you'd added some words before. Now, if you can't fit the word before, here is what you do. So if you have the word, or the words the, now I'm writing this with my mouse again, doesn't look great, doesn't it? If you've got the dog, and you want to say the furry dog or the brown dog to add an adjective in here, and there's no space. I can't fit the word brown in here. I put a little arrow like this, the top of an arrow, and then I write the word above it because there is space above the line there. And so that now it says the brown dog. And when you come to type it up tomorrow, you'll see the little note that you decided in your editing you wanted to say the brown dog, not just the dog. Now another thing to look for is some similes that you could add. There are some great examples here again. As big as an elephant, as cold as ice, as slow as a snail. So you could go through and using this same idea of drawing the little arrow up to include it, you could see if you could add some similes to your writing that you didn't have already. So maybe you said that the character was very slow as he was walking somewhere. You might want to change that to he was as slow as a snail as he moved towards the goal. So adding some adjectives would be a great thing. Pause this video, see if you can do the extra step. Okay, here we are at the end of the video. For step 3 editing, we have been learning to edit our own writing using the CUP strategy, which we know is capitals, understanding, punctuation, and spelling. And we've added a little extra bit in there as well. And today, you've been successful if you've checked your writing has capitals in the right spots. You've read your writing to someone else to make sure it makes sense. You've checked that it has the proper punctuation in the right spots. You've checked the spelling of the words that you've included in the story. And you've added some interesting adjectives and similes to make it exciting. Well done. I'm really looking forward to seeing how you go as editors today. I can't wait to see these published stories and we publish them tomorrow. Have a great time.